Hi guys, welcome back to the Library of Alexandria, where today guys, today, this is my script. Welcome back to the channel guys. Now, this is going to be my March TBR video. This is coming out later this week than I wanted it to initially. Work, kids, stuff got in the way. So, here we go with what I'm going to read in March. Starting off, of course, with, if you've watched recently, I'm in my parents' basement until basically the end of March. And then I will have a new house with a new office and new bookshelves to show off. But until then, most of my books are in storage. So luckily, got my Kindle Oasis here, which is a lifesaver, because otherwise I'd be going nuts. I'm going to continue the first law read along with Before They Were Hanged. So there will be a picture here somewhere, because I don't have it on me. But I really enjoyed the first law so far. I really enjoyed the blade itself. All the characters so far have been rather interesting. I definitely want to know more about Logan and Glocta specifically, and maybe some of the tertiary characters as well. But I'm told there's a little bit more plot involved in Before They Were Hanged, and since we had some good traction and conversations going on with the blade itself in Discord, I did already throw up a channel for Before They Were Hanged, so that will be up and running for the next month, and I'm looking to see some people in there reading along with me and my journey through the First Law series, because never read anything by Joe Abercrombie before, and the blade itself was very, very interesting, and I want to see where it goes. And everybody praises these characters, and you're supposed to read all of it to get the full feel. So I want to get through this first trilogy and read all the standalones. I basically want to read everything in this world, so looking forward to that one. Next up, as I continue to get at least one sci-fi book a month, I ended up doing Murderbot, which was all systems read in the month of February. I think that was the only sci-fi I did. I wanted to sprinkle in some more this month, so I'm actually deciding to do We Are Legion, We Are Bob, which is book one of the Bobiverse. So this, one of my patrons, Scott, thank you, sir, actually sent this to me a while back and was featured in one of my book haul videos, I think. But I'm looking forward to this because I know Media Death Cult has covered it quite extensively. I've heard a lot of good things about it just in the sci-fi community in general. So I understand there's a lot of dry humor. It's pretty ridiculous in a sense. Basically, this is modern day. Bob Johansson owns a software company. He wakes up in a century, well, I think way into the future of when he was supposed to. He got like cryo-frozen or something. Bob wakes up a century later to find that corpuscles have been declared to be without rights, and he is now the property of the state. He has been uploaded into computer hardware and is slated to be the controlling AI in an interstellar probe looking for habitable planets. So, I mean, the premise just sounds kind of awesome, and I've heard nothing but great things, especially from my guy Scott in Discord. So I am absolutely looking forward to this, and it's going to be a little bit of a lighter read. Most of the sci-fi books, at least so far that I've seen, aren't crazy long or anything, so definitely interesting topics. Certainly not what you get out of fantasy stories, and I'm looking forward to it. Next up, I am continuing with the Dresden Files. So, bam, Deadbeat. That is book 7 of the Dresden Files, and I don't really know what to expect. I was kind of right that Blood Rights was about vampires, and I will have a review of that up in a couple of days post this video. But I really, really enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite of the series so far. That definitely goes to Death Masks, which I read about a month ago as well. That was book 5. That really knocked it out of the park for me. Blood Rights was good. It wasn't great. Some things about the premise were hilarious. I really liked how much more in-depth the vampires were in the story. Did that even make sense? I liked how much more involved the vampires were in the story. Having these warring courts, the white court and the black court, going at it. And just, you know, pulling the veil back even more of all this, like, inter-politicking and power grabbing between the vampire courts is really cool. So I really enjoy that. And there's some great reveals in that book as well. I'll get more into it in my review a couple of days from now. I don't know which day that'll be. Tuesday? Thursday? Wednesday? But yeah, really enjoying the series so far. Like I said, I really, really loved the first book, and it's been kind of smooth sailing from there. There's been slight bumps on the road with certain parts of the series, but apparently this was the last good book, and then everything else is great. So that's awesome. All right, after that, I am stepping back into and continuing my journey through the Wheel of Time with book 7, Crown of Swords. And I, of course, don't have that with me either because I own it in both, no, just hardcover. I have it in hardcover, but I'm going to get it on Kindle because, again, this thing is saving my life, and this makes reading Wheel of Time way easier because I don't have to lug these gigantic books around. I may or may not continue the trade paperback collection. I stopped at Lord of Chaos because I initially thought I was going to get them all in trade because I love those covers. And then I bought all of the hardcovers used because there was a great sale where I basically got 12 of them for like $150. And then I just finished off the last 2 in the prequel. But I'm really enjoying the Wheel of Time so far. Lord of Chaos, I will have a review up about probably a week or so after this video drops. Really, really interesting. Lots of great character stuff. Some huge moments that otherwise would have been crazy and surprising to me if I had not had them spoiled well over a year ago. Because if you're reading the Wheel of Time for the first time, don't use Google. Don't follow random Daniel Green Twitter threads where commenters just throw Wheel of Time spoilers around for no reason when we're talking about something completely unrelated. Stay off the internet is my guidance here. If you're reading Wheel of Time for the first time, just stay off the internet. Luckily, it wasn't anything too crazy. There is one more big spoiler that I've had for myself. I'm assuming it's true. I haven't gotten to it yet. I'm holding out hope that it doesn't actually happen, but I have no idea what book it'll be in. It sounds like it would be pretty major if it does happen, so yeah, stay away from the internet. But Lord of Chaos has been great so far. It's definitely a slower burn, but the content is excellent. A lot of good things going on here. Rand is really, really becoming a much more interesting character than before. I continue to love Nynaeve. Egwene is getting super interesting with where she's at. And I'm looking forward to continuing this on and actually finishing the series this year, because that is my main goal of 2021, is finish the Wheel of Time. And last but not least, if I do get around to actually being able to get this far in my TBR, the Dune Saga with Dune Messiah. And the reason I'm saving this for last is because everybody tells me that this and God Emperor, which I believe is book 3, correct me if I'm wrong, are essentially one novel and should be read together. So I want to wrap up March with this, and then, if not immediately start April with God Emperor of Dune, it will be immediately after the 3rd book of the First Law trilogy, probably. So, but I really love Dune. I mean, that was one of the greatest sci-fi books that I'd ever read. I've been talking about continuing the series with these ones, so I definitely want to do that. And again, sci-fi books are pretty light, sub 300 pages. That will only take a couple of sittings, so I definitely want to get to that. And then, hell, if I can get through all this and I still have time, I'll read some other short stuff. But that's gonna do it for my March TBR. So I would absolutely, though, love to hear what you are planning on reading for March. Are you joining me on the First Law read along? That's been great so far. Are you, reading totally different stuff? Whatever it may be, let me know in the comments down below. Definitely join up on Patreon if you want to support the channel financially. That's always optional, but always greatly appreciated. I would love to see your faces. Faces? No one shows face in Discord. That was a weird thing to say. I would love to talk to you in Discord, though, or in the comments down below. So again, let me know what you're up to next month, this month, whatever day this airs. But that is going to do it for this one, guys. Until next time, keep reading.